Hey, welcome to KROSS BARZ, the podcast where we discuss interesting topics with alternative perspective. I'm your co-host, Big O, and I have with me...
Hey, I'm Tanae, back in the building one more time with none other our special guest, Mr. Curtis Hudson, the writer, the producer, the musician. Wait a minute. The legendary Curtis Hudson. Come on, give it up for Mr. Hudson, y'all. Let's go.
Glad to be
here. This is good, man. Listen, it's good. Now we're gonna have to talk about a variety of things. I see you got the full bib. Me got the full bib. I got hat. I go out here in the streets and I'm hat fishing people. But are you still got the headline, or is like you said you went bowling?
I'm still hanging in there.
All right.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Listen. We got to start it off that way because you're looking good, sir. You're looking good. Let's just first say that foremost. Where do you hail from? Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from a small town in Louisiana called Mansfield.
Mansfield.
Okay. All right.
Where's that near? Is that near Shreveport, New Orleans?
Right. Just a little bit. Maybe 20 miles from Shreveport.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Home of the baseball legend Vida Blue, who pitched for the Oakland A's.
Okay, you just
went me on that one.
Thank you. Yeah, you got me.
I love that.
One. Yeah, okay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he was like one of the greatest baseball pitchers of all time.
Oh, that's
1971. World Series.
Oh,
couple of World Series back to back with Reggie Jackson, all those guys.
Wow.
Oh, with the Oakland A's?
Yeah, Oakland A's, man.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't born yet, but I know some things.
I know you guys are a lot young for that, but
I was like, whoa.
If you Google him, you don't hear his name a lot, but way before Michael Jordan and a lot of those guys, this guy was the man. He was the celebrity from that small little town.
Man, that's
and you
awesome.
said Vida? You said Vida Blue?
Yeah, Vida Blue, VIDA, Blue, BL.
All right.
Vida Blue. Okay, wait a minute.
That's what KROSS BARZ is about. I like that. Right. We're giving them some good gems on here.
Okay,
all right.
Sure. All right, wait a minute. Now I want to know who got the best crawfish. Is it Shreveport or Louisiana? Now, if you're country boy, you'll know now.
Well, they all anywhere in that area, you're going to get some good crawfish. Anywhere in that area.
Good political, good answer. Okay.
I think the southern part of Louisiana might even have a little bit better, but you can get them all over.
Oh, that out of bank area. Yeah, that flood too quick out there. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Listen. I know some things. Okay. Absolutely. Okay, so now you at this small town in Louisiana, which is like y'all have parishes over there.
Yep.
Yeah, you got the parishes over there, so they don't do counties and stuff like that.
You got it, man. You know the stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So now you were Louisiana, and what was the drive for you going through school? What kind of child were you? Were athletic? Because down there you in the home with athletes.
I played baseball, like I said, with my brother.
Baseball.
We all played baseball, and it was a lot of guys who probably could have gone to the pros, but for whatever reason they didn't make it. But I played baseball, basketball. But baseball was my main sport, though.
Okay. And so when you were small, who was your person you looked up to the most?
Oh man, all the legends, Hank Aaron and all those guys, Willie Mays. You guys are so young. You probably don't even know.
Oh, try me, brother. I know.
We know that. We're not that young. We're a little bit young, but we good.
Yeah. No. You can find out real quick.
Guys, man, that you're looking up to,
You're looking at Bob Gibson.
Yeah, Bob Gibson. That was my dad's favorite player, man.
Okay.
Yeah, he looked mean. He's a menacing man, Look mean all the time, Okay, all right. I thought he was like Raleigh Finger or Catfish Hunter.
You know what? I got a chance to meet all those guys because when I lived in Oakland, when Vida was having his great years and stuff, I was there, so I got a chance to go to the team and dugout and hang out, man.
Oh wow!
Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, so now this small town guy, and now you get to high school, you playing sports. How did you gravitate towards music, and where did the
well, it was happening Both at the same time, actually, because I started playing music when I was about 12, I guess. I started playing for gospel groups like church and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I was playing sports along this, the same time,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
I just
Absolutely.
gravitated into the music a little bit more. Once I started really getting into music, I kind of drifted away from the sports and said, this is what I really want to do, music.
Okay.
Hey,
And
was your mother and father, were they into music too? Were
My
there?
whole family was either you're a musician or you're a singer.
All right.
oh wow,
So
what
I grew
instrument?
up in a family like, it was just a normal thing to be a great singer. None of them pursued it professionally. I have a cousin that he was a professional singer. You guys are a lot younger, but he had a platinum record back then called God Didn't Make Little Green Apples. His name O.C. Smith.
O.C. Smith. Hold up.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's from
Hey, that's two
Mansfield.
names we got.
Yeah, he had a song, Garden make little green apples, it don't rain any apples in the summertime. Big hit,
Oh, I
big,
love that.
big pop
Okay.
hit if you Google him. But yeah, that's my mother's cousin. But all of my whole family was singers or musicians.
Okay. What instrument did you gravitate towards?
Well, guitar, bass, my main
Okay.
instruments. But over the years, I got into keys and drums, different instruments. But guitar and bass is my main focus.
Oh, so you were learned by ear, or did someone
Yeah,
sit down
just
and teach
just
you?
strictly by ear. I would watch my uncles play, and they would have those Friday night, Saturday night fish fries,
Oh yeah.
and you
Hmm.
would have just guitars like everybody playing. It was blues musicians.
Gotcha.
And I would just sit and watch them play, man, and they were some awesome players. And I would watch them and just picked it up,
Okay. No,
picked
no
it up.
doubt. Okay. So now you're getting out of high school. So you just went and said, all right, I'm going straight be a musician, or you said, you know what, I'm going to college and I want to pursue this baseball career, or you said, you know what, I'm gonna just go to the factory.
Well, my last year of high school, I messed up my arm playing
Okay.
because we went to the state championship. We lost because I had messed up my arm. But during that time, I was heavily involved into music. So I kind of figured I didn't want to do sports as a career. Um, but when I graduated high school, right after my graduation, I left and went straight to Berkeley in Oakland, California.
Mm, wow. So you got into
Yeah,
University of California, Berkeley?
no. I was living in the city of Berkeley.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Oh,
I
okay.
was like,
Uh,
whoa.
the college was there. I mean, I hung out there. I mean, that was a hangout spot, for everybody.
Yeah.
But I lived in the city of Berkeley. My brother, one of my older brothers, was living. I got out of the service, and he lived in Berkeley.
Okay. And now my next question is the service. You went right after high school. What branch?
I didn't go in the service. My brother was in the
Oh, your
service.
Your
brother went into
brother
service.
did. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my brother was in the service, so he moved to Berkeley when he got out of the service.
Okay. So he
Gotcha.
got a service.
Yeah,
You get.
I
I'm following my
bypassed
brother.
the service.
Oh,
No, I
okay.
was
He said, I ain't doing
I was
that.
supposed I was supposed to report to the draft office, and
Yeah,
some
that's around that time.
politician, somebody died, and so they closed all their offices. So I never did get called back again, and that was 1971.
Oh yeah,
Wow. Yeah,
Right
yeah.
I know
before
you're
they,
not
right
calling
before,
them.
right before Vietnam was shut down. So
Yeah.
they still
That was the
keep,
heart of it.
taking us. So I just missed it just by that much because I know that had I gone, they were going to send me straight to Vietnam.
Absolutely. That's what they do all the black soldiers.
Yep.
They say, back you black, yeah, you going straight there. Everybody else they
I
send to
can't
North Africa.
remember who it was who died, but it was some politician. They closed all the federal offices and stuff. So I didn't have to report again, and never did give me another call.
Okay.
Wow.
So now
We're thankful
you
that they did it.
facts.
I
Thankfully
know,
that they
right?
didn't call you back.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So now you leave high school. You're about to get drafted. Then for the Lord just said, "Nah, we gonna do something." then they don't reschedule you because you know politics and government ain't the most efficient. Your brother said, come out here to California. The girls are beautiful. Because I know that's what they did. I know. I got you. Yeah. Your brother said, yo, they different out here. They ain't like Louisiana. You like, well, all right. I'm out there on the next thing smoking. All right. So when you get to California, and because you're at Berkeley, the history of it is they're very artsy, very free flowing art, you know, flowing of ideas. And now you try to go over to Oakland.
Oh yeah, man, that was where I hung out. That's where Vida lived, in the projects of Oakland. He's playing for the Oakland A's, but
living in the projects.
Live in the projects of the Akon projects of Oakland.
Okay, so wait. I gotta get this straight. Hold up. So your hometown hero, you know, is a big deal because little small local boy get drafted to the Major League Baseball. He calls his friends. He's like, yo, you know, I'm here. So you're going to go check out your homie, your brother over there. So now he's living in the projects playing for the Oakland A's.
Yes, sir. Because he wanted to be around people. You know,
he wanted to.
He could have lived anywhere he wanted to.
That's
right.
Yo, that's what
I like that though. You know, you gotta be. He wanted to be with the crowd, be normal instead of being. You know, he wanted to be himself. I get it.
I got you.
He was down to earth brother, and he felt comfortable. And we would just go play basketball, you know, and hang out in the hood, man. When he wasn't, you know, playing, and you know, that's what he was comfortable at. He's just that kind of guy, man.
But I'm just thinking, in today's term, like, you know, only person that I've even heard did that was Richard Williams with Serena Venus. That's the only person I've ever, like, he had enough, him and his wife was making enough money, they could have moved, but he was like, the best athletes come from the most harsh environments. You know, talents are, you know, and I was like, man, and then when I thought about it, I said, you know, he's like LA, Louisville, Kentucky, you know, it ain't like the big projects, but it's the country, and country living is tough too. And I was like, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. And Ali was the same way. He stayed in the hood, man. You know, whenever he would go to cities, he would find the hood. That's where he would go and hang out around people.
Wow. I couldn't imagine like LeBron saying, all right, I'm gonna go to Compton. Like he's in LA, but like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Compton because I think we're too much.
Not this
like,
day. Not this
because
day.
I don't think you have a sense of community anymore. Like before,
it's totally different, man. I mean,
indeed.
The things I saw him inspire so many people, and it's funny that MC Hammer during that time was a little kid who was like the ball. But he worked for the Oakland A's, man.
Correct.
I remember him. I remember Vida was telling me, he said, you remember the little kid that used to be? I was like, yeah. He said, that's MC Hammer. I was like, are you joking?
Hey, Hammer back out now too. He making music. He
was back out in the Coliseum dancing and doing all this little routine and stuff as a little kid, man.
Yeah. And that's awesome. So now you're out there in environment, you hanging with your hometown hero, and then at the same time you're getting into music. So how did you get to go like the breakthrough to get to the mainstream per se?
To be honest, when I was in I stayed there like three years in the Oakland and Berkeley area. Man, I partied. I partied. You mentioned girls, and you were one of the most famous athletes of that time. So we were hanging out, partying, and just, you know. So I really wasn't doing anything musically, just a little bit. I would jam here and there with people, but I wasn't pursuing my career. I was just totally just having fun. I was 18 years old, straight out of high school, and I was just partying for like two or 3 years until my oldest brother said, I thought you wanted to do music, man. You know, what's going on with you? Come to New York. Get out of California.
That's right, brother. Yes. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
You was just gathering all. He was just getting all the background stuff. That's what you was doing. You was getting all the input for the songs you was about to write.
There's a couple of things that was happening. They had a huge concert back in around 71, 72 in the LA Coliseum. Were you a part of that by any chance? I think Isaac Hayes.
No, I didn't get there. Like I said, I was partying, but I didn't make that watch stack.
You made that one. Okay.
That watch stack concert.
Yeah, watch that. That's what it was.
Yeah, I was hanging. I was just hanging, having fun. Going. I would drive back and forth from California to Louisiana, like on the off seasons when Vita wasn't playing. We was like, yo, man, let's go drive. And we would just drive across country and have fun, you know.
Okay.
So I was doing that for several years until my like I said, my older brother said, "Come on, man, you got all this music in you, and you're not even pursuing it. Come on, New York is tough. Come to New York. Oakland is too easy for you, you know." Yeah. So that's what I did. You know, it's 1974. I left, came to.
Wait a minute. So if you left in 74, you was there. Wait a minute. I need to ask your opinion on a perspective of the passing of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. because you were around 16, 15, 16. Yeah. So tell me your perspective on that because that was big mark.
It's hard to even explain how Black people felt during that time, you know, because my oldest brother, the one that I was saying that told me to come, he was part of that civil rights. He was like 6 years older than me. So he was there marching with Rap Brown and all those guys.
Snick. Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. He was part of that whole thing because he went to Southern University.
Okay. So SU.
Right. So he was a part of that. And a lot of them left school, you know, fighting for rights. They, you know, it was like, well, we were trying to get this whole movement going. So, yeah. So I was like at the tail end of that because by the time I got to Oakland, like the Black Panthers, you know, that was a headquarters in Oakland. And I went to a couple of the meetings and things, but it was kind of like they had infiltrated it and had kind of broken it up a lot by the time I got there in 71. People were still trying, but a lot of them was in jail or locked up. But for Dr. King, man, it was traumatic for us. We felt like we had lost, you know, that person that was just taking us where we needed to go. And then Malcolm X too, you know. So it was I don't think the youth understand that period, what we was going through at that particular time. You know, I really don't think and I talk to some of the younger people now, and my son, you know, included. It's hard for you guys to understand what was happening. You figure, but in a less than a 10-year period, they wiped out the whole movement.
Yeah,
right.
They wiped out the whole movement, man. Like everybody was killed, like from President Kennedy, his brother, Robert Kennedy, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Medgar. They wiped out any
and Dr. King's mom.
Yeah. Right. Any opposition to the system, they just wiped it out, said we clean and slate. And from that point on, things took a different turn.
Okay. Did you see like the major changes because of the time? And for me, asking this type of question, because when you told me the time period you grew up and where you were, so if you're talking about Louisiana, then your move to Berkeley / Oakland, and you're being like 18, you know, I never really had the perspective of a teenager of that time because the teenager, they were very volatile. Like they didn't want to be like, you know, non-violent. They wanted to be more violent. That's how Snick said, "Nah, we." Oh yeah.
That's pretty much what we wanted to do, and we was trying. You know, we had the older people saying, "Don't do this, don't get in trouble." Now you have the backdrop of me being in Louisiana. A lot of times people don't understand what it was like. In 71, when I said I went to the state championship, we played a team down in Southern Louisiana, which was an all-white school, and when we got to the city. And we riding on a bus for like 3-4 hours or whatever to get there. And we hungry. We see this hamburger joint, you know, we're like, "Coach, let's stop by." And we pull up and get off the bus. And the guy said, "We don't serve niggas."
What? And it's 71.
1971. Wow. He's like, "We don't serve niggas." And we was like, "No, come on." So the coach was like, no, you know, so go to another place. Same thing. "We don't serve niggas." So we have to end up going to the coach's house. Mother cooked us a big pot of gumbo, and that's what we ate. I mean, everywhere we went, nobody was friendly toward us, to just even taking our money, you know.
Right. So, and it's green.
This was 1971. That's how bad it was in this country. And sometimes people forget that, you know, and I can witness this, you know, I lived it.
Yeah. Because a lot of times, you know, when you look at history and don't have the perspective, they say, well, you know, Brown versus Board, that's 1954. That
Right.
ruling, 56, you know, they integrated
Right.
Little Rock High School,
Right.
then Harding High School in Charlotte, North Carolina, during this time, during the 50s and early 60s. They don't realize that in places like near Shreveport, Louisiana, Deep South, that's what we're going to call it, Deep South, they like, oh, it ain't get here yet. That's why we even celebrate Juneteenth. You know, it was like, yeah, y'all free, but they ain't get down here yet. So we gonna keep on until somebody with guns tell us to. And the military had to show up in Texas and be like, nah, y'all better do this, or we gonna start popping white people. And that's when they were like, somebody tell me I'm free, but the guy right there got a gun, and if I walk over, he's gonna shoot me. You know, so like, how free am I? You know, and so you giving that
Panthers changed a lot of the gun laws. You know, when the Panthers came up, they changed the gun laws.
Yep, they said we get them too. Now what? Even Steven. Yeah,
it was like walk around in Oakland, you know, armed, like saying we know the law. We can, and they changed. Ronald Reagan changed the law so quick.
Absolutely, because you know, it's, as they say, it got real different. Police officer roll up and he know he got a gun, but you know you got one. It's like, and I remember in college looking at the statistics. You know, I remember one of my relatives was like, well, why do you have one? I was like, it's my right. Yeah. You know, but it was like, you know, you shouldn't. I was like, no, that's your belief. But he was trying to say stuff. And I said, well, you know, statistically, you know, the chances of me actually dying in encounter with police officer goes down if I happen.
Yeah.
You know, like the chances go down, you know, but at the same time where my other cousin hit me, but it was like, well, statistically, most of the time, if you have one in the house, you're going to hurt a loved one. It's like, yeah. But I'm keeping mine safe and everything. But let's move forward. Now you're going to New York City. New York Cities. That's how they go.
The big apple.
So January 1st, 1974. That's when I got here actually right at the tip. New Year's Eve was just coming in. Never seen anything like it. I get off. I rode a Continental Trailway. I don't know if they even have those buses anymore.
Yeah, I remember it. Greyhound bought them. I got you. Yeah.
Right. So I get to Times Square to Port Authority, right? And it's like New Year's Eve. I see all these people, and I'm like, I'm going to follow. It was actually snow too that year. It's like a big storm. So I called my brother. He's like, yo, I can't get you. I can't come from Jersey. The snow is like, you know, you're going to have to hang out over there for a minute. I was like, oh man. So I just put myself in a locker and I went down to Times Square. Never seen anything like it in my life. That many people, even San Francisco and places I have been, but never seen anything like New York in my life. So it was like, wow, that's a
lot of culture changes because you go from Louisiana to California now to a whole nother coast in the snow where you didn't have snow on the other side.
To Berkeley to New York.
Yeah, it was totally. I'm like, wow.
6-year period.
Yeah, you can feel the difference in New York and California.
Okay, so now you're in New York, and now you have to get over to Jersey. So now, what is the working process of you trying to become this musician and meeting people and trying to set up like jam sessions or even auditions?
Well, you know, my brother. He played bass guitar. We left home together when we left Louisiana. He was like 3 years older than me, but I missed a part going down south. We played in all the funk bands, the gospel do. So we was a team like the Brothers Johnson. You know, he's playing bass. I'm on lead guitar. So we had a little reputation and stuff. So when we came to Jersey, you know, that was I was thinking, we're gonna start a band. We're gonna get a band and stuff. So, you know, but we were taught you to put food on the table, you go get a job. So we both went and got a job 9 to 5, and we working a 9 to 5 and just sitting at home jamming, listening to albums and, you know, learning whatever. And he goes out one night and, you know, just looking for some action or whatever. And he finds this little spot in Orange, New Jersey, where they have a band playing. And he comes back and said, hey, they got a band there, but they don't have a guitar player. They got a bass player, a guitar player. And I know you could rock that, you know. So he said, I told them my brother played guitar, so they told me to come get you. So I'm like, what are you talking about, man? I don't even know these people or whatever. He's like, hey, grab your guitar. You know,
Grab your guitar, let's go get this money.
Let's just go. Stop talking.
Go
Let's
get this
roll.
money.
I grab my guitar, go down and talk to the keyboard player, and he's like, yeah, man, you could play, you know. So he's like, plug in, and they was on break. So when they went on break, I played every song that they without rehearsing. I played every song, and they was looking at me like, man, this guy. So they talked to me and said, man, you playing well? I was like, no, you know. They was like, man, why don't you come play with us? And I went to rehearsal, but that was the first band that I started working with.
Okay, what was the name of the band?
Happened to be. Oh, okay.
What was the name of the band?
Oh, it was a local band, just a group called the Professionals. They didn't really have any.
The Professionals.
Right. Started off with the Professionals.
And was that place in Orange? What was the name of that that spot? That wasn't Maria at Peppermint Lounge yet. And it was.
Oh no, that was a place called the Time and Place, right there on Day Street. Right,
Time and Place. Okay, yeah. It was in Orange. That wasn't even East or West Orange. It was Orange.
Oh, that was in Orange.
Yeah. To the decent place. Okay, you was in Orange.
Right, so that was my first band that I started playing with. So after they asked me to join, and I started making suggestions, I'm like, guys, we should be doing this or doing that or whatever. So they were like, this guy knows what he's talking about. So they made me the leader of the band.
Yeah, you talking about arrangement. That's what they call it, arrangement.
Exactly.
Like, we should be doing this. You comment on this, man. Take that down a notch, okay? All right. So now you're making a name for yourself. You're working your 9 to 5, and then on the weekend you're getting your groove on. Now, did you venture to different clubs in the New Jersey area, North Central Jersey? Because we got a spot in Plainfield, and it was real small. Anybody know that? You got to go to Moonface. That's where they had the strongest drinks.
Now in Plainfield, during that time, there was a place called Mr. C's.
On Liberty Street.
So we played Mr. C's. We played all the spots, the Peppermint. We played, you name it, the Name of the Game in Jersey City, where Kool and the Gang and those guys be hanging out.
Woo!
So I got to know all of those guys eventually, all the local musicians. Actually, Kool and the Gang cousin played drums for my band at one point, so they would come hang out with us all the time.
Oh man, are they really? Okay.
Now I just gotta say, when you're doing that and you're combining people and you're forming a band, was there any conflicts or people that didn't want you guys to come and play places or something like that?
No, sometimes you have conflicts within the band itself, but the community itself as a whole musician was like, yo, man, we would go check out each other. I would see the Isaac brothers in the audience at local clubs too, Kool and the Gang, different musicians, George Clinton, they would just pop in to see, because they're looking to see what local musicians they could use. And
right.
stuff. So you would see a lot of different musicians just hanging out in a club. Mtume, I got to know him, so during that time, it was just a big community, man. Everybody was kind of supporting each other and, just going to jam or watching each other jam, that kind of thing.
Man, that's pretty awesome. You spoke of James Mtume, but who else was James Small? Because they had a show in New York on Sundays. I used to listen to them. And during that time period, like the 70s, you guys in New Jersey, New York area, you guys some real thinkers, because Dr. Clark was at Hunter College. Yeah. And then, Newark had a vibrant, Black community that was doing very well, and quite a few talented artists that was budding. So you was a part of that uprising.
The culture at that point was incredible, man. I mean, you had a club. Pretty much every city had several clubs, like from Newark, Patterson, Jersey City, the Oranges. All throughout, and then you go over to the Village and stuff. It was just a whole different level of music culture that was there, man. And everybody was good too. It's like the level of musicianship was so great until you had to. You didn't come out of the basement until you was tight. You didn't want to walk
right.
Right. Tight, so you had that's the musicianship that was around. So it was just different, man. I'm glad I grew up in that environment, because it made me, who I am. And then coming from the South, it was those guys was really going down the funk. You had leaders and all those guys in New Orleans that was really doing. So I grew up, you don't get on stage unless you knew what you were doing. You have to not just be okay at what you've done. You have to be better than okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I would tell you, I mean, when in my earlier days in Shreveport and, Baton Rouge, playing around Texas, guy would say, don't walk on my stage, man, if you ain't bringing it.
That's right. That's bars.
I was like 14, 15, 16 years old.
Even as that young, they don't even come up. We ain't even.
Guys will say, hey, man, you okay, but go back home and practice.
Yeah. And listening to what you're saying, just really understanding that's what made the level of musicianship as well as artistry rise to different levels, because people kept on getting better and taking what you've done and others, and then they put their own spin on it.
Yeah.
So that's like, in education, we call that synthesizing.
Right.
You take whatever somebody has and put your own spin on it and then make something new out of it. And now, because you don't have to go through that process of, you got to stand in front of somebody and somebody might boo you.
Right.
Don't be saying anything, because I can go into a closet and get on the mic and say jibber jabber jibber jabber, and then upload it on the computer and then see the word and see what, and I can hide and what anomaly and say, well, I don't have to say anything, and people don't have to know it. Whereas I got to stand on that stage in front of all these people. I have to showcase my talent, and they're going to give me approval or disapproval. And and that process you got to respect, because so many great artists I've heard, it's like, man, you don't really feel like an artist to get booed, and I'm like, what?
No, it wasn't planned then, man. Whether it's a little small juke joint or whatever, a hole in the wall club, people, if they came out, they worked all week, they came out on the weekend to see entertainment, you better be good. Yeah. And I've seen it. People will come, take the microphone from you. Say, man, you ain't singing. Give me that microphone and wear you out.
Wow.
Wear you out.
Hey. Wow. And we talked about that when we did an interview with Allison Williams, and I think Big O, you had asked her that question of like, who were your godmothers, or who were your, for you, Mr. Hudson, it would be like, who were your godfather? Like somebody who kind of checks you and be like, nah, that ain't it. Or if they seen you going a little left, is there somebody like that kind of kept you in check, or was it just your brother, oldest brother, or?
Yeah, it was different musicians, man. That was just in the gospel field and in the R&B field. People just give you their wisdom and tell you things to help you, things to avoid. I got that, from an early age. As soon as I started playing, they would tell you the ins and outs of the, and people that they will give you what we call a spanking then, and I remember being arrogant when you get where you're around your friends and they tell you good, they're like, oh man, you good. And you're the best in that one town that's got 5,000 people.
Right.
So you go elsewhere and you think you got it like this. I walked into this club once in Shreveport, and this guy, the band leader of my band said, man, can we sit in? Because during that time, you can just walk in and say, man, let us sit in. And they would, okay, go take the stage, do your thing. And I got up and I'm thinking I'm doing my thing. And this guy, he looked at me, then he got back on stage to do his set. He's like, yeah, man, them little country boys come in my house. Like, I'm going to show you how to do it. He took the guitar, all the stuff that Jimi Hendrix was done before I even saw Jimi Hendrix. He took the guitar and was playing it behind his back with his teeth. Just going. I went home, didn't touch the guitar for a week.
He was like, tough that made you feel bad.
I couldn't pick it up for a week. Yeah, because this guy he was like, man, don't come into somebody's house like this. Those was kind of lessons that I got. So he said, when you come back right. And I didn't touch my guitar for a whole week, And the guy that was the leader of the band said, man, you could do that same stuff. You can do that when you're young. You can do that same stuff, man. Come on. So I said, okay. I started practicing and I started doing these little tricks and stuff. I said, okay, this is what people like. They don't just want you to play good.
Right. They want you to play.
So I came up with my little routine. I went back to the same club maybe a couple of months later and walked on the stage, and he gave me my respect. He said, "Man, now you right. Now you right." You know, so those were the kind of lessons that I learned early on, man.
Can't hear you, O. Okay. All right. So the question I have while he figures that thing out over there is, you were into your, when did you get your first introduction, like your first like major celebrity or somebody you know that, hey, I'm going to be playing for this person, I'm going to be writing for this person? Where did you get that first break?
Well, my group that I had when we started, we broke down to 3 members, which my brother and singer Lisa Stevens. Yes. So we went on to go to record our own album, and we did that, and we got some club hits out of that, you know, where we had one of our first single went to number 7 on the Billboard dance charts. And so we was making a following of, you know, just doing that stuff locally. Didn't have a major R&B success like, you know, a number 1 song or top 10 song, but we made a lot of noise on the East Coast. So we was working in the studio.
I'm sorry, was that with Hot Wax, or is that with Pure Energy?
Pure Energy.
Group? Pure Energy, okay.
Pure Energy was the group.
Right.
And we had like our song Party On went to number 7. And we was putting out dance songs, and they was doing well. You know, we was going around playing all the clubs from Miami, San Francisco, Atlanta, you know, Boston, doing all the U.S. Circuit, you know. And then what happened with a big break came was once we wrote this song called Holiday, and we wrote it for ourselves, you know, the label that we was on. We was on a small independent label, so we never did have big backing like a lot of the other groups had, like, you know, the Atlantic Star, the Gap Band, you know, they was on major labels. So a lot of our songs we felt got lost because the promotion wasn't big enough behind them or whatever. So when we wrote Holiday, we presented that song to our label, like, I think 3-4 times, and they turned it down. They was like, no.
Is that when you guys were with Prism Records?
Yes, Prism Records. Yep. We was with Prism Records, and you know, they turned it down. You have to present something to the label that you're signed to before you present it to anybody else. So they have to refuse it. So, you know, they was like, no, we don't think this is a hit, and you guys should really do this and do that. So they're pretty much telling us what we should be doing. We like, we know this song is a hit. So Jelly Bean Benitez was dating Madonna. And so since we was playing a lot of the New York clubs, Studio 54, the Blige, Zanzibar and Newark, I mean, all the spots. So we knew all the DJs. And so he was like, yo, man, we played the song for him. He was like, man, I love this song. And then he came like maybe a week later, said, I think I got an artist that'd be great for this song. She's looking for a song. And Madonna, you know, you probably seen her around the club.
Madonna.
So we was like, okay, all right, you know. And so she loved the song when she first heard it. She's like, I know this is a hit. So we did the song on Madonna. It just took off, you know, just took off. And we was like, wow, that could have been Pure Energy's song, you know.
Right.
So that was our first really big break. You know, but we had success as a independent group on an independent label, you know, for a few years.
Now my question, because I want to say, like, a version was way after Holiday, correct?
Yeah, Holiday was her first
major smash, breakthrough song.
Had everybody out, I think, maybe a couple of songs, but none of them did what Holiday did.
Yeah, because I want to say during that time period, I want to say the real big one, she used to play with a band, but then she broke out by herself, Pat Benatar. And it was like Pat Benatar and you know, some of the older ones like Cher, but they were a little older, and Madonna was like more into the dance, but more not disco, because disco was dying. Right. And then it was more dance, and because I always think of Luther Vandross when he was with the group Change. and that was more of an up tempo, type of group and everything. Now I think of like European artists when I think of that time period, because that was like a sound.
Yeah, you're right. Now Luther sang background on our first album.
He sang. Well, hold on now. All right, you ain't gonna slide that one in there. So right, we gonna
on you guys' first album. He
we gonna run that right there
on Pure Energy's first album. Matter of fact, he had just done the Glow of Love and those songs with Chain, and we was in the studio, and I asked him, I was like, you don't have a deal or nothing, man? I mean, your voice is incredible. He didn't have a deal at the time. I was like,
wow.
Like, well,
who was the singer? He sang background for the one. It was Regina Bell, or not a.
Oh, that was before. He was before Regina. I don't.
Yeah, but no. He was singing backup to one of them, and she said, "You can't sing backup because you're too. You got to be
Roberta Flack.
Roberta Flack.
Yeah, I forgot.
Roberta Flack. I knew. She said, I knew it was one of them. They was like, "Yo, you was too good. No, you can't be my backup. You got to be in the front." And I was like,
he was doing all of that stuff. He's working with people, but more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But at the time, Luther was like, 350 or something. He was big. He was a big guy during that time.
Listen. And we always had a discussion, me and some of my friends. We was like, look, Big Luther or Little Luther. I always tell, I go, like, I used to have that. Like, look, you like Luther? Which Luther? You like Big Luther or Little Luther? I like Big Luther. Big Luther is different.
I mean, he was an incredible singer. I mean, regardless, but it was just that whole image thing that that the labels look at. How can we market you and blah blah. We know you're great, because everybody in the industry knew Luther was one of the best singers around. That wasn't no secret. Everybody called him in to do this, to do that. When they wanted songs to sound good, they was like, Luther Vandross. So, but Luther, Tawatha, AG, who sang Juicy Fruit, they was on that same session. Top session people was on that session when we did our first album.
I love it.
And they went on to, Tawatha went on to do the classic Juicy Fruit. But they was all great artists, undiscovered. And actually had music out before some of them on our own name. It's kind of
right.
And that's much respect for yourself, and then also having a platform so some of them could spring forward, because sometimes you may be that person to launch someone else into something great, or even say, you know what, it takes a big person to look and say, listen, I'm a great guitarist, but that little boy Prince, you know what I mean? Like, he's different. Like, little bro, you need to be in the front. Like, you have taken it to the next level. And that's where I think now today, where I think too much ego, whereas the artistry suffers, because it's like, well, let me suppress this because I know they're better than me. Whereas before, I think the artistry was the most important. So you wanted to push the best to the full.
That's what we sat down and because the lead singer of the group, Lisa Stevens, she could have done all the background herself. She could have just tracked it. But we wanted to work with the best singers. We looked at the different albums at the time. And we was like, oh, this singer, Stephanie Mills, they've got their dang background. So we just compiled the best background singers that we thought was in the New York area at the time to work on our project. So we handpicked, like we want Luther Vandross, we want Tawatha, we want this person. And we got there. We wanted to be up close to see how these people work. The best of the best. So we want to get firsthand how these people work.
I love that, because you're still doing the best and being the best that you are, but you're still willing to grow to reach that next level, and it was okay with that. And I read in a magazine, it was actually you and Miss Lisa Stevens, you guys, they were talking about the song Holiday that you guys did, and you were talking about how you came up with the song. And actually, one of your words that quoted you were saying, Mr. Hudson, you said that Holiday was a gift, and that certain songs that God gives you as a writer. When you said that, and that really, really stuck out to me. It's like, because you kept saying, I heard it. It was a gift, and you guys knew it was a gift, even though the company did not. I just wanted to, ask your questions about that and with songwriting, because not only with the band and getting people to sing, is how do you write a song that really conveys the emotions and stuff that you feel, so that the audience can feel that, because we feel it on the other side of all that. How do you do that?
Well, I mean, to me, it's like I said, it's a gift. We all have gift. What you guys have done is a gift. You're using your gift that God has given you to do whatever, you create whatever content or whatever. So we all have gifts. It's just some of us doesn't dig deep enough into them to make them grow or whatever. But with Holiday particularly, the young lady that co-wrote, Lisa Stevens, we would rehearse every day, and so she was playing these two or three chords. And I was like, I keep hearing something from that. And she was like, no, I'm writing a song. So, go do something else, So every time I would hear her do, I'm like, let me do something with this. I'm hearing something. I'm feeling, because I was like, she was doing this. I was watching the TV, and the news was like, trouble, this war here, this blah, blah, this person got killed.
Right.
So something was coming into my spirit of saying, if we could just take one day, just everybody chill one day, man. And that's when it just hit me. It's like, if we took a holiday, took one day to celebrate, it just came to me. So when she finally gave in and said, okay, go ahead, you can do something with it, it just poured out like water. The whole song just everything, because I was walking around with it in my head for weeks, and it just poured out. So that's where I figured that God just gave me that as a gift,
Okay. Yeah. So now you have this smash hit by this young lady that's ascending to superstardom. And now, how did your life change? Did a lot of people started knocking at your door saying, we need another hit, we need another song? Or did your pay change? Did you quit the 9 to 5?
Yeah, now that financially, that changed, man. During that time, we still was a group, Pure Energy. We would meet Madonna at hotels where, when she was on the road or whatever, we bump into each other at hotels. She would hug us, say, oh, thanks for writing that hit song. But we still was doing our thing. We didn't have that big hit, because we like, we gave you the hit that should have been ours or whatever. So she was going on up, did American Bandstand, all this stuff. Yeah. And we still was pretty much on that level of trying to get there. So we did that for years, but nobody wasn't knocking our doors down saying, oh, do this to do that. And the record label was sort of holding us. And a couple of labels wanted to buy our contract. They was like, no, we're not selling. So we ended up holding out the past. We've had a 5-year contract with them. We ended up holding out the last 2.5, almost 3 years of our contract. Just doing, not recording or nothing, because we didn't want to work with them anymore, because they wouldn't sell us to a bigger label who's going to have the money to get behind us. So we just kind of said later, and I lost interest in the industry, man. It was just so much politics, so it just turned me off. And I was just like, you know what? I got money, buy me a house, go to church, and I was just playing in church and stuff, Okay. So I just kind of got away from the whole industry after a while, because I was like, I love the music, don't like the business.
Respect. And I understand that, because, when I started learning some things that's behind the scenes, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that, when someone was in a contract and then they receive like such a small fraction of their art, they were such a small benefactor of their own art. I said, that would turn me clean off. I couldn't imagine me write a song, give it to somebody, and then they say, all right, Hickle your cut. And I said, whoa, look at this. And then somebody come over and said, yeah, that was supposed to be you, but because you signed to me, I'm going to take this and see that crumb. Yeah, that's yours. And I'm like, wait a minute. All right, you ain't sent me. I've been funding my own stuff. So what have you really be doing? And then they start putting, we had the studio time. I wasn't in the studio. We in my friend's basement. So, he got his own studio. What's the invoice to that? You ain't send me there. You ain't pay him. So what you talking about? And so when you start doing, the checks and balances, it's like, you know you're stealing. And it's like, yes, we're stealing from you, and we're going to make more professional people to allow you to know we're stealing from you. But this is what they call business. I'm like, no, that's called thievery.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly, man.
In learning that part,
kind of turned me off because the music always came first to me. You know, for being successful. You know, all I ever asked God was say, let my music, the people hear my music. You know, I never said make me famous or I want to, you know, be this. I want to be rich. I just said let my music go out to the world. Let the world, and he did that. Yeah. He did that, and you know, Holiday. I remember when it hit me was when they did the thing called Live Aid. Y'all, you know, you got. So when they did that, it's this big benefit for AIDS, and it was like a worldwide event. And one of my friends, he did stuff with Keith Sweat, and you know, he called me. He's like, "Are you watching TV?" I was like, "No." He said, "Well, Madonna's getting ready to perform." He said, "And this thing is simulcast to everybody in the world. Every person in the world could hear your song if she sang Holiday. Your song's gonna be heard by literally every place, and there's no place on this planet that this song ain't gonna be blasting."
Correct.
Every radio station, TV station throughout the world was playing. So when she went on the stage and she was saying Holiday, I was like, man, God answered my prayer.
And you never know how it's gonna be done.
The whole world hears this song at one time. So,
and you didn't have to be singing it. That was the key.
Right.
That when we ask God for something and we think that it should look like this, and He give it to you somewhere different, and they still got to hear it in the world. It might not have been you doing it, but you know, like personally singing it or whatever. But they definitely got that.
That's Absolutely. When it hit me. Like, wow, the prayer that I prayed for, He answered that and some. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine hearing one of my songs, you know, that is going to play it around the whole world simultaneously at one time. I was like, wow, that's amazing. So, yeah, I mean, I'm thankful, man, for whatever blessings that I've done. Anybody that's a musician that if you do this strictly for fame and money and stuff, not going to be happy because now it's not geared for us. You know, it's a business. It's not geared for us to be on top, you know, financially and all those things. It's just the way the industry is made. Like you're saying, you get a little small crumb of what you create. And that's been the model since Sam Cooke and James Brown and all those guys. So it wasn't designed for us. So if you go in thinking that that's all it is for you, then you're going to have heartbreaks on top of heartbreaks.
Yeah. And you know what made me really, really, really excited was that even though you guys were a long time ago, what I realized when doing just, you know, research for you and, you know, trying to find out was that what I know for hip hop as Missy Elliott and all that with, you know, Lose Control was originally you guys way back in the 80s in the movie Breakin, you know, didn't even realize that song was a Body Work. I think it was the name of the
Body
song.
Work, Body Work.
Yeah, was in the movie Breakin that I grew up on in the 80s, thinking that was it. And when you listen to the music now, Missy, and I'm thinking she was the first person that says, you know, music makes you lose control. Yeah. No, that was Hot Streak saying that back in 1984. Yeah. And then her and Sierra Fat Man Scoop picked it up. So your music has transcended generations, you know, for now. So how did you feel when you heard that, or they wanted to use, you know, that song for, you know, something current?
Yeah, that's my voice and my brother's voice is saying music make you lose control.
That is crazy.
Yo, did you copyright just that right now? I think they're on video game. Music make me lose good.
It's all over the place. But
man.
That's actually our actual voice. That's from Bodywork when we did from Bodywork. But yeah, actually the strange story with that was that my son Eric, he's a producer. I don't know if you
shout out to Mr. Eric Hudson. Yes, we do. Yes, I do.
So he called me. He was somewhere in Chicago or somewhere working, and he's like, "Dad, I just heard your voice on the radio." I was like, "Boy, I don't have anything out." He said, "Dad, heard your voice on the radio with Body
I
Work.
know.
Said, do you have a
Wow.
remix or something? I was like, not that I know of. And so I ended up hearing the record. I was like, wait a minute, that's Missy. So, I ended up calling the publisher.
Yeah, that's right.
And where you sending that check to? Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly. So with that, I ended up getting nominated for a Grammy.
Yes.
Connected with that song, and I got a BMI awards and stuff. It's actually kind of cool because that song got a lot of
Congratulations.
play.
That's great. It did.
Absolutely.
It did.
Absolutely.
Didn't even know.
So now my question is, someone use it, and how is that process? Because I see all the plaques behind you, so there's plenty of songs that you've been a part of, and people may have sampled your voice, and you just told me someone else had to tell you that your voice is on a song, and your label, your business, they didn't say, hey, they're gonna use this song, and this is where we go, this is your cut. What is that process? And not to get too deep, but like, is the check significant enough where you say, yeah, you go ahead, use that, or nah, that ain't enough?
Yeah, well, most of the time, especially with artists like Missy or either a lot of these rappers, they do well, back in those times, because you still selling actual records back then, So yeah, they do very well, and it made tons of money. The streams on Lose Control is off the charts, what I'm saying? So it's Missy, it's Missy Elliott. So you get your publishing, and of course she, what she added to the record, then you shared it with other writers and stuff with her, but you still end up doing well. The same with the Isaac Brothers, those guys being sampled by Biggie Small and all. I mean, this checks will be coming forever when you have your publishing,
Beautiful. Okay, so as long as that's straight, it don't look like you're missing emails. It look like you somewhere nice.
No. I got that. Like you just I think they get it now. A lot of young people understand the value of publishing and ownership of your songs and masters. But a lot of times in previous years, man, people didn't get that.
Yeah, they were signing the rights away.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now we have this segment of the show where I actually do some comparisons. All right. So if I say one thing or next, you could say either other. You can say, man, I don't like both of them neither. Or you can say, man, it's too hard to choose. I'm gonna say both. So if I say, what you like better, ribs or catfish? What will your answer be?
Don't be catfish.
Catfish. See, some people might say neither. I'm vegetarian. It ain't neither. Or you can say both. I can't choose.
No, not a vegetarian.
Not a vegetarian. All right. So that's how we go. I'm gonna ask them just random things, musically, sports, entertainment. Okay.
I've been on sports for the past few years. I kind of moved away from it. Too much politics and sports. But
okay. All right. Well, I go some old school. Let's see where you are, because I know the time period. Dr. J or Michael Jordan?
Come on, Dr. J for me, but I know Mike is the man. But
now you don't got to explain.
It's still
that's your choice.
That's who you want. That's who you want. That's right.
He set the bar. That's all I can say.
Okay. Yeah. See, I know what's going on. So now I'm gonna ask you a little hot. Oatmeal or grits?
Oh man, grits.
Okay.
Although I do both.
I know. I got you. I know. Yeah, I told you. I'm gonna tweak.
Go with a lot more things than oatmeal. So you can fish, grits, catfish, grits, egg grits, but oatmeal is
true.
Oatmeal and maybe some toast.
True.
So I would go with
like breakfast.
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. Let me see. Of the white bands, average white band or Hall and Oates?
Oh, Hall and Oates.
Hall and Oates.
Yeah, like
Hall and Oates. Songwriters, musicianship, they to me, average white band, they had a couple of hits, but I don't think as a band they compare to Hall and Oates.
No, they don't. Okay. All right.
Come on, Sarah Smile and they were great writers.
Yeah, okay. No. All right, let's go a little harder. Let's see what Michael Jackson or Prince?
Musically, Prince.
Musically, Prince. Okay.
Yeah, right. I mean, Mike is the man.
Mike is Mike.
We grew up with him, but Prince plays every instrument, sing, dance, write all his songs. You kind of hard to beat that, man.
I listen. I got you. You don't have to explain it. You can leave it right there. Yeah. Oh no. The question's gonna get harder, sir. No. These are lollipop questions. So watch the next one: Teddy Pendergrass or Marvin Gaye.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I told you.
Marvin though.
Marvin.
Okay.
Marvin.
All right. Okay.
All right.
You understand that?
Again, Teddy has his spot, but come on, what's going on? I mean, go back to the early Marvin Gaye.
Turn off the light. Whoa.
And the stuff he did with Tammy Terrell.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I think Marvin just sticks out a little bit more, man.
You got a little bit more.
Love Teddy though. Love Teddy.
Okay. Songwriters. Oh my God, I'm looking at his face right now from the Commodores. Lionel Richie, or Rick James.
Wow, that's
I told you they get harder, sir. I told you they getting harder. I did tell you that, right? You thought I was joking. They're getting harder.
Super freak.
Oh, nice.
Three times a lady.
Where you going?
Right.
Where you go? Why don't you just go say it both? That's what you got.
I think
you gotta go with both.
Yeah, I will go with both. But
yeah, I know. That's what I try to do.
Bigger songs, Lionel. But if you go with like catchy songs, then Rick. I think bigger songs.
Kenny Rogers. I like that. I don't know. Kenny Rogers.
Wait. Don't do that because you messed up one. You messed me up because that was the next one. Dolly Parton or Kenny Rogers? Songwriters.
Dolly.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Dolly ain't nothing to play with.
I will always love you.
Wait.
Yes.
Oh, I'll give you a better one than that. A better one than Kenny Rogers. Dolly Parton or Dionne Warwick. Yeah, see it perk up. See him perk up. See, the ones who know. The ones who know. Yeah, all of Luther.
He hit the Malcolm X on him. He hit the.
As a singer or
Dionne
don't really write.
No, she wrote a lot of those songs.
Dionne
in his 50s and 60s. Oh yeah, that's Dionne.
She did.
Oh wait.
Burt Bacharach.
It could have been.
I don't know.
Because you're right. Because she get co-writing credit, so you could be correct.
Bacharach was doing all those songs, man.
Yeah. Because Luther Vandross, I want to say 3 of his biggest hits were a remix of her. House is Not a Home is Dionne Warwick.
Yeah, she did a lot of good stuff, man.
Okay. So that could have been because she gets writing credit, but you are correct. That might have been him. And she said, but okay, all right.
He's the brain behind all of that stuff. So I think she's more like in the vocal, but I think he's producing and doing all that writing.
Okay. Okay. As a producer and writer, Templeton or Quincy Jones?
Oh, Templeton. Well, not as a producer, as a writer, Templeton.
But as a producer.
Quincy, of course.
Okay. All right. Because, people sleep on Templeton. But those who know.
I mean, all this hit that guy written, man.
Always.
Forever. Right. Now,
No. Absolutely. People like, look, every prom, you're going to get that one.
Forever.
Yeah.
And wedding too. That's my mom's favorite song.
Yeah, always and forever. Okay, let's start winding it down. Some light ones because you got too many heavy ones. I thought you was you did good. So let me give you some light ones. All right, LeBron or Kobe?
Wow, that's a tough one there.
Yeah, I know.
I like both of them. Certain things I love. I gotta say both.
All right.
Okay. Wait. Let me ask you because you're in different places, so we're gonna ask this question. Let's see what you do. The Oakland Raiders or the New Orleans Saints?
He hit the hole.
I have to be, because that's my home state. But then I got so much history in Oakland too.
I was gonna put the Giants. I couldn't do it because I was gonna go all three of them, but I gotta get two. So I figured those two be over there.
I'm gonna go with the Raiders. All my Louisiana friends gonna be mad.
Yeah, they're gonna be mad at you. Yeah, you might.
They'll love you on the other stuff. They'll love you for the other
stuff. Okay. And who makes the best rice? This will be the last one. Who makes the best rice? All right, Louisiana or Georgia?
I think Georgia.
Okay.
All right.
When it comes to rice, I think Georgia. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Look, only a country boy gonna know that. Because everybody up north thinking rice is rice. Till I came to the south, I was like, wait a minute, there's different rice down here. Wait a minute, this ain't what I was like, wait a minute. I was like, this is a little different. This don't taste like the rice that come from. No, this ain't the box stuff. Yeah, I was like, our rice coming back. So I was like, yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Mr. Hudson, I just got a couple more questions and we're gonna get out of here. I know you're working on some things. Have you and your son, Eric, had you guys collaborated on anything?
Oh yeah, we did. We did several things. Actually, we got a Grammy a few years ago with John Legend.
Woo!
Song that we did with John Legend's album called "Remember Us."
All right.
What's the? There was a rapper.
Rick Ross, because I know he do.
No, it's a female. Rhapsody.
Rhapsody, that's my girl.
North Carolina.
Yeah, she's on that also. But yeah, we got a Grammy. I don't know if that was a father and son ever got a Grammy or not, but we got a Grammy as writers and on that song. So
can we say like Eric Hudson and Curtis Hudson is like the Deion Sanders of the music industry? Can we say that? It seems like you're bringing
the Bron and Bronny. Yeah, that's what we do.
Either one. You gotta have that. You pass that on. So are there any little nuggets that you kind of told your son when he was coming up, when he was getting into the industry? Anything did you tell him that, okay, son, look out for this, or some good nuggets so that he can, make an impact?
Yeah, I told him the real deal because he started playing at maybe 3 years old. By the time he's 4 or 5, he was, baby play things on. He's playing with my gospel group, 4 or 5 years old. So I told him from day one, because I knew he was going to be in the music industry. I mean, you can't have that much talent and not pursue music. So I just told him exactly what the music industry was. They only want what you have to offer. They don't care anything about you. They don't love you. They just whatever they can get out of you, they're going to get that. And you just go in knowing that, and you go in with what you want to get out of it. And you get that, and don't have too many high expectations. Like you want to be the greatest producer. You want to be the top producer. When you do that, you have to start doing things that take you out of your character or whatever. But if you have a plan for yourself to say, I just want to do my music, use my skills and talents that God given me, and be as successful as I can, then you can have a very successful. I mean, all these platinum. My son has probably about 30 or 40 platinum records. Come on.
Yeah. I know he got 3 Grammys. I did.
Yeah. So I mean, what more do you really want? I mean, come on. I couldn't even imagine when I was coming up thinking I'm gonna have 30 or 40 platinum records. So I always told them the real deal. And a lot of these young artists, they find the hard way that this industry do not care anything about you.
Not even a bit.
They want your gift. They want to pimp your gift. They want your gift. They don't want you. They want your gift.
You gotta make the most out of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Sam Cooke, to Ray Charles, everybody went through it. Everybody went through it. And as long as you know that, then you can, like I said, you can kind of get your own path and be successful. I've been more than blessed, in my career. And still, we did 2 songs for the Isley Brothers. That was big. Because I played the Isley Brothers music for him as a kid, and for him to actually end up producing with the Isley Brothers. Calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning and said, Dad, I'm doing something with the Isley Brothers. come on, give me the guitar,
Yeah. Give me some. Oh God,
I'm playing some, some Ernie Isley chords, and and sending him melodies and things, and they writing it, and then Ernie, Ron Isley end up singing it, and I'm like, wow, this is like 2 generations. Like, he grew up on this stuff. So we did check those songs out, man. 2 really, they sound so authentic of the 70s stuff. Is scary.
Yeah, that's something that was the soulful groups during that time period.
Yeah, we did a love song called Love Songs, and Great Escape. Ronald Isley sound like he did in 1971.
That's Mr. Still Your Nana. That's what they gave him some years back. We wearing the white fur. Yeah, Mr. Still Your Nana. Yeah, if your Nana outside, it's a wrap. Keep Nana inside. Ron ain't playing no games. They got the little silver fire going on. He out here. Nanas is going bananas out here.
Not the Nanas going bananas.
Yeah, the Nanas is going bananas out there.
Yeah, I think he's 80 something now.
Yeah, I'm like, he ain't got no business looking that good that old. I'm like, hell nah. Out here competing.
Still sound that youthful, man. It blew me away when he sent me the mix, like the rough mix of it. I'm like, this guy sound like this at his age. It's amazing.
Just listening to what you just said inspired like 3 more questions that I didn't get to. One, I got to do them real quick. All right.
No, go ahead. I'm cool. I got time.
Yeah. Lou Brock or Ricky Henderson?
Oh, Lou Brock.
Oh, okay. And then
that's my homeboy. He went to Southern University.
But look, watch this. And then the other one, Ricky Henderson, Oakland. That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
That's why I said, listen to what you were saying. And then the next one, Stevie or Ray Charles.
Oh, whoa. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
I can't even
both.
Yeah, both got to be.
Yeah, because I thought about that and I was like, whoa. Nope, like it's crazy. I remember having conversations with people, right? And this is why I only want to talk to professionals about music, because I feel as though I'm not a professional. I'm like on the cusp of professional right here, like up here. Then it's me, and then it's the rest of everybody else. I'm like right there on the cusp of professional, but I ain't there. But I ain't like
he put him in the middle.
Yeah, I ain't like
professional historian. No, professional historian.
Honestly, people were having discussions saying, "Well, who's a better writer?" And they were like, "Was it Stevie Wonder?" And they said R. Kelly. And I said, R. Kelly got a lot of hits. He had some current hits. He wrote for some people. But I said, I think Stevie Wonder gave away more hits than he has.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he may not get ready because artists used to say, oh, yeah, Stevie just did it and said, you can have it. And then they come back and say, give me money. And I've heard at least 10 over my lifetime that said, Stevie Wonder, that big hit right there, got it. Like the Clark sister. I'll never forget when she said, I remember growing up to the song.
Oh, yeah.
She got that one, Stevie. Yeah. I said, what?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. And he was the only person when they were doing verses. I said, you don't put him up with nobody.
Oh no, come on.
I said, that man got a half a century. He got 5 decades.
Yeah,
he got a half a century.
Yeah.
I said, who are you putting up against him? But these new, as I like to say, they're slave of the moment. You know what I mean? Like, listen, I know your guy is great. I'm not denying it. He is great.
Right.
And I'm like, but you got to understand that, your guy is standing on that building, but there's a mountain behind that building.
Yeah.
There's a mountain behind that building.
Yeah, but that's real. That's real, and to me, it's not so much as the chart actions or the popularity, it's the quality of the art too. You got to look at that. Mm-hmm. So put up Stevie Wonder's album versus R. Kelly's album. You could say, well, R. Kelly had more hits of this, but the quality of the work and the lyrics.
Yeah.
I go into all of it. If you go by numbers, then you'll have Cardi B more popular than Aretha Franklin.
Correct.
Bar. Two separate.
Correct. Yes. You cannot go by numbers because numbers now could be anything.
Correct.
Taylor Swift, they said Taylor Swift outsold Michael Jackson. Come on, not in the real world.
Yeah, correct.
Not in the real world, right?
Yes, not in the real world,
in the digital world or whatever.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson sold physical copies.
Yeah, you had to walk to the store. Yeah, and
Love
would you
it,
walk to
yes.
go get Steelers? Like, nah.
Yes.
Right.
You know,
So I
Miss
mean,
that.
now when I look at people saying, "Oh yeah, Cardi B or this person, blah blah blah, top this," I'm like, no, that's not. You can't even count. They don't even count the record sales the way they used to. So when they'll say somebody out broke the Beatles record sale or broke Michael Jackson, come on, that's all.
Can't look at it
make
like
numbers be anything you want to nowadays.
yes.
You can make the numbers be anything. So to me, it's like are you gonna really see?
You can buy some numbers.
right, exactly. You gonna put Cardi B over Aretha Franklin or Shaka Khan? Come on.
It's like somebody gotta be like, all right, we gotta like somebody should be there and be like, no, this is not what we're doing.
We have to come down to reality. And I
Yeah.
see stuff like this on social media all the time. They'll say Cardi B is the number one this, and I'm like, in what world are you what are you judging?
Right.
You're talking about talent, work, art, or what? So it's that's a whole nother thing for me, guys. Because I get upset about a lot of this stuff that they're calling culture and art, and I feel resentful because I came in on the original hip hop. I used to work. I don't want to go too long, but I used to work out at Sugar Hill Studios.
I was wanting you to get back to that, even with Prison Records,
down in
Juice Crew and all them was in it.
Down in Inglewood, I remember when Angie Stone was part of a group called Sequence.
Yep.
When they did the first Sugar Hill hip hop, like I was down there during that time, working in and out of the studio. So I saw I heard the message when it was on a demo tape. The guy that wrote the message played it for me because he played percussions on my songs. And we was off on break time in a session, and he called me aside. He said, "Yo, man, I want to get your opinion on this track and see what you think." And he played it.
Crooked Blast everywhere.
I was like, "That's hot." He said, "Yeah, man, this is the new track I got, man." And I went on to see, the other guy, Grandmaster Flash and Fear. I saw how they became part of that, but I heard the original version of that song, man. So I saw hip hop being created. I saw that, and what is morphed into. Come on, man. Don't call it our culture. It's somebody trying to take what was our culture and make it something else, and then try to say it's still our culture. I
hear you.
I definitely agree with what you were saying.
I hear
because it's someone else's imagination, whereas. Just think about it, where I think a few years ago, like maybe 8 years ago, when I heard a group, and I may, not like either groups, but I was like, I thought it was blasphemous.
Right.
That's what they said.
Right.
So the group was down here, the Migos, right? So this group in Atlanta, Migos, they had a popular style genre. And then they kept on saying, well, we're better than the Beatles. They kept on comparing themselves to the Beatles. And I was like,
it's totally different.
I don't think, like, I was like, totally I wasn't around for the Beatles, but I knew the impact of the Beatles. That was a worldwide phenomenon. Right. I was like, just being honest, if y'all stop making music tomorrow, nobody would miss it. Beatles, people was like,
there's a few that would. A few of the newbies that would.
And it sounds disrespectful.
They're good in their own right.
Yeah, but I was like,
some comparisons can't be made.
I don't think they should be saying, well, we outsold the Beatles. I was like, yeah, you did, but I don't think you're in the same arena as them. I think that's a different. So it's levels. That's what we like saying. It. There's levels to this.
Right, exactly.
You're not on that level yet. They run
you're 100% correct. And sometimes I just watch social media and just trying to get a pulse, because when you're writing, you want to have a pulse on what's happening.
Right.
So if I want to write a
song, and all that. Right,
but I'm saying, I'm like, the mentality is so crazy now. What they really accept, like in our generation, you had to come with some substance. You couldn't go to a concert and a person couldn't perform. People would walk out. You could not go to a major because you're gonna pay, get your clothes put, in the cleaners.
That's
You're gonna
right.
put
Yeah.
gas in the car. You're gonna drive to wherever.
Yes.
You don't want to
Clean
go
the
see
car.
somebody turn their behind up and can't sing but just twerk for the whole concert. I cannot see
Bars, Mr.
Absolutely.
Hudson. Bars.
but how anyone would pay to go see that. Now, I could see if you go to a strip club where you're sitting and you're drinking, have your drinks or whatever. But to actually go to a concert and pay hundreds of dollars to see,
Hundreds.
I can't. Most of the artists, and I have these conversations with young producers, no disrespect, but a lot of these artists would never have made it 20 years ago, 25 years ago. It wouldn't even been thought of being on nobody's stage.
Right.
What promoter would actually book somebody that can't sing a note?
That is.
I can't rap. I can't rap.
So listen, it was said that I wasn't at the concert. They heard Luther Vandross. He was at a concert where the sound system messed up, and he's like, "All right, turn it off." And he sung the last 25 minutes of his concert a cappella with his background singing.
Oh, I believe it.
I'm like,
I believe it.
That's
like artistry.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Well, wait a minute. You know what I mean? So there's like these legendary stories about people singing, people performing, people amongst the people, because when you have that type of talent, we all know it's God given. It ain't true. And a lot of times the artists will say so themselves, but at the same time, we all respected the talent and even the effort. But now it's almost like, well, because I want attention on me, I'm going to say derogatory things about your talent and your gift, just so people can focus on me real quick. And that's one thing I never want to do. Like, say this artist is bad or this artist. I'm like, hey, you know what you said? Hey, I think you might want to change up what you said. Now I'm saying that. Right. But when you say that people have gifts, you don't want to say, all right, because going on a stage in front of people and then saying, this is my art, it takes a certain amount of vulnerability that the average person doesn't have. So even if it's, producing, singing, poetry, reading aloud, anything, people are afraid of. What did they say? The second thing to death, scariest thing to death is actually, speaking in front of your peers. Yeah. So just imagine, instead of speaking, singing in front of your peers, performing something in front of your peers. That is pretty difficult.
It's just the industry, like when we were saying earlier, how the Chitlin circuit served a very good purpose. You don't have any clubs. Where could these kids go to perform, to develop their talent before they on social media and got mixtapes out? So you missing a whole lot. So these kids are not going to be prepared for stage. They're not going to know how to perform. They're not going to know how to do these things because there's no culture for them to develop in. So there's a big gap going from here, from putting a demo together, then doing a major stages. How are you going to do that without experience, without actual development? It's just impossible. So that's why when I see stuff, I can say, I'm not going to expect but so much, because how long have that person actually been performing? When James Brown, Sam Cooke, all these people went through all kind of trial and error to get as good as they, did. So they didn't just wake up and say, I did a demo and I'm out on TV concerts and stuff. Everything happens so quickly for these young artists, so they don't have time to develop. They don't have anybody in their ears saying, work on your pitch, work on your tone. Get your pronunciation, get your diction properly so people could understand what. None of that matters anymore. It's just like, if you can sell something, sell it.
It's all about marketing, about technology, and the times changed for them to do that. And now it's about a number, and it's about a like, and it's about a follow, and it's about a subscriber. You know what I mean? And that's what they base their popularity or the,
that's great for somebody to say, I'm building up economics, or I'm putting money in, that's great. But what does it do for the art form? What does it do for the actual culture? People like Sam Cooke wrote "Change Gonna Come" because the police officer, when he was at his peak, told him he was like a nigga, move your car. You know, he's like, man, I'm Sam Cooke. So
Right.
like he's like, something got to change. So he went
Yes.
into a song, "A Change Is Gonna Come."
That's one.
You know, so these people went through a lot. Sammy Davis Jr. had to smile on stage, but he had to come through the back door.
Correct.
Right. Right.
So these young artists don't understand what people went through for them to be able to stand up there and do literally nothing and make $1 million. I mean, Cardi B makes $500,000, $1 million a show. You can put every act from the soul funk era on the stage at one time, and they wouldn't have made $1 million.
Yeah.
All together. So, I mean, to me, some of this stuff is kind of almost insulting to the whole culture that created all the music, but it's the way of the world, and you know, you have to live with it. But when they flaunt it, you know, it kind of, I look at it, I write it off. I'm like, I don't see you as an artist now. I see you as a gimmick. I see you as
entertainment. That's it.
Right. Entertainment, gonna make money. You're not doing nothing for the culture. You know, it's a lot of people went through. I know what I went through as an artist, and you know, it was hell riding in the back of vans with drums. You know, and we wasn't making no money. We did this stuff because we loved it and we wanted to do something. I wanted to take whatever James Brown and Jackie Wilson and those people were doing, Smokey Robinson, and take it to another level. I wanted to continue what they were doing. So I went through all of that, and all the artists, Cameo, all these people that came, they went through all that so they can keep the legacy going. Not because of making money, because most of it wasn't making money for years.
Yeah.
Most of these artists would quit today if they had to go through what we had. They wouldn't last a year.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not don't make money fast enough. You know?
Yeah.
Don't make money.
You gotta be background singer for 3 years behind this artist
before you can even come to the
we were talking about
Let's talk about that, man.
Teddy Pendergrass was a background singer. You sitting there
and being as good as you are,
correct.
Knowing that I can just, you know, sing the heck out of these songs. You know, just imagine what these people have to internalize to keep going. For Luther to say, you know, my time is gonna come. I'm gonna keep singing on these commercials. I'm gonna keep singing on this person. I'm gonna keep doing until my time comes. I mean, most of these people would not continue. They would quit after a year time. But you know, it is what it is.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. This is so much is what KROSS BARZ is about. You just kind of checked off so many boxes. The whole point of this podcast is, you know, to bridge that gap. You know, the young people, they need to hear what you're saying because they're seeing, you know, they need to know the stuff that goes on in the background. They need to know that you were a part of this and that this song wasn't made first, this song was, you know? And that's what KROSS BARZ is trying to do. We're trying to bridge that gap. We're trying to, you know, get those gems out there so people on every level, you know, our age, my mother's age, and younger than me, you know, can get what we're talking about, you know, about this business.
I love what you guys are doing. And I went and I, you know, saw the videos of you guys doing Denise Williams and the other gentleman, was it Christopher? What this other guy that you did? No, Tony Terry.
Tony Terry.
Terry.
Great interview.
We did Glenn Jones.
Glenn Jones. I went back and I looked at. I love what you guys are doing.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
I
love that, man. And great interviews, great questions, and you know, I learned things that I didn't know from watching, you know. I learned things that I didn't know when you talking to Denise Williams. Certain things. I was like, I didn't know that about her.
We
the emotions were in Earth, Wind, and Fire. Absolutely.
Right. And Stevie drove her car. We were like, what?
Yeah, so
I mean, y'all have a show. Like all of y'all have to have, like, I think Dave Chappelle and that sketch comedy and y'all stories. It's like
so many stories.
It's so many.
But
I respect you guys.
You said a mouthful. I really think people should be making movies. There should be a movie about Marvin Gaye's life, Sam Cooke. I mean, they did
one like a made for TV type movie from Marvin.
Yeah, but not
right.
They should do something. The way they did Ray Charles, they should do that.
Yeah, Marvin.
Right.
Pentagram. They should have these things so that you can see it, man, and realize what people went through. So, but you guys doing a great job. I love it.
Thank you.
Thankful that you guys had me on. You know, I could tell my wife I never consider myself any kind of celebrity or anything. I'm just like a behind the scenes guy that just like to play his guitar and write songs. So I'm always honored when people appreciate anything that I do in this industry.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And you got anything coming up we can look out for, or can we find you anywhere on social media?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just have my little social media page like under my name, but the group here, we're working on new music, and we have a single to come out. Check out Midnight Magic.
Midnight Magic.
Yeah, Midnight Magic. We did it. The lead singer has some health issues that she's dealing with, so we have to kind of put everything on hold for a minute. But we released it I think in September. And it was starting to do well, but she got sick, so we weren't able to go out and promote it. But check out that single. It's called Midnight Magic. You can find it on YouTube, Vivo, and all the streaming sites under Pure Energy. So
Pure Energy.
Yeah, I'm working with my son constantly. We writing and producing. He has a new single, Chris Brown, called Residuals.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, I love Chris Brown.
Him, and I mean, he would be the guy to really, he got more interesting stuff to talk about.
No, you got the foundation. He's just standing on the shoulders. But we would love to have him on the podcast as well. If he has time or something, he can throw in. We would love to meet him too. That would be great.
He's done a lot of stuff. I'm sure you guys know his history. Flashing Lights was a big song that he did.
Yes.
Which was started right here in this room.
Wow.
Growing Pains started here in this room. I mean,
Wow.
The room got greatness, brother. I see it.
Yeah, so
I just want to go touch the wall in the room.
It's the money room. That's what the money.
Can we get one more pan, Mr. Hudson? Can we get one more pan of them awards before we get out of here? Y'all need to recognize on KROSS BARZ what we dealing with.
Stuff. That's I don't know if you guys can see, but this is it's a Grammy for Growing Pains as an engineer. Could you believe that?
Wow.
As a producer, Growing Pains. This for Neo, Because of You. I don't know if you guys can see that.
That's my jam.
Yeah, so this is John Legend stuff. A lot of BMI awards and stuff.
Love it. I love it. Got it in there. Got the whole room full. I love it. We good.
We see the Grammys and the platinum plaques.
We love it. We appreciate you so much again, Mr. Hudson, for being on the show. We're going to go out. We're going to sign off now. I am Tanae. That is Big O. Mr. Hudson, thank you so much for blessing us with your information, your wisdom, just your presence on KROSS BARZ Podcast. You can find us as KROSS BARZ. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on X. You can find us on Facebook, all over streaming media platforms. Please remember to like, share, subscribe this podcast, y'all. We're leaving out of here. Peace.